Episode 357.
No one in the area was going to care more about their customers than we were. So that was part of our brand. So we positioned ourselves as a resource to customers in the community. And when you're thinking that way, because when you think about your beliefs, you act, the way you act is according to your beliefs.
Welcome, aftermarketers, to Remarkable Results Radio. Listen to learn just one thing from today's episode on your journey to remarkable results. Hi, Carm Capriato here, and welcome to the Remarkable Results Radio Shop Talk, the series, Volume 2. Today's long-form interview and discussion has a woman's touch. These shop owners are wearing the mom, parent, and the shop owner's hat. Mothers who are juggling with schedules, work, and family, but never miss a beat when it comes to the growth of themselves as leaders and the attention they pay to their businesses. I want to thank Federal Mogul Motor Parts for their support. Looking for hands-on, real-world technical training experience? Well, Garage Gurus offers on-site training in major markets across the country, providing the equipment, tools, and know-how needed to keep your next job on track. Find out more at fmmotorparts.com. High five to new Facebook connections, Bear Samuel, Gary Smith, and Al Santini. Find all social connections at remarkableresults.biz/social. Joining me in this episode are Kim Auernheimer of Cool Springs Automotive, Brentwood, Tennessee, Maryann Croce of Croce's Transmission Specialists, Norwalk, Connecticut, and she's also with smallbizvantage.com, and Kathleen Jarosik of Xpertech Auto Repair, Englewood, Florida. In this episode, we share with you how these brilliant shop owners find the balance or harmony needed to run a shop smoothly. They share their struggles, lessons, successes, and experiences as a woman business owner in our industry. Our chat includes talk on delegation, balancing work and family, being moms first, and also having a business coach, and what's working for them right now. Find the key talking points and bios and links at remarkableresults.biz/E357. And a defining moment in the episode is the discussion on culture. Enjoy. Hey, a warm welcome to Kim Auernheimer, Cool Springs Automotive in Brentwood, Tennessee. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Carm.
Hey, good to have you here. Maryann Croce from Croce's Transmission Specialists, Norwalk, Connecticut, and smallbizvantage.com.
Hi.
Maryann and Kathleen Jarosik, Xpertech Auto Repair, Englewood, Florida.
Hello.
Shop Talk, the series. Glad to have you here. You didn't know each other until right now, right? Boy, when I turned on into the virtual studio, it was like old home week. So I'm so happy that you're here. We hear so much, Kathleen, about work-life balance. And I just recently read, I can't remember, it was so good that I forgot the author and the place that I read it. But the author was saying there is no such thing as work-life balance. It's work-life harmony. And the point was that if you were really good at home and things were great, you'll be good at work. If things are great at work, you'll be a whole lot better at home. And that was the harmony. And if you want to think about the word balance, maybe the word harmony works. What do you think of that?
That sounds like a much better plan, as long as I'm not singing, because that is not my not my deal. But you're right. As you say that strikes a very true chord for me. If home is chaotic, my work life is chaotic. So maybe I need to look for some more harmony for sure.
How are you going to find it? What are you going to do? Think about it. I mean, I got you on the spot here.
Delegate. That's the answer, right? Delegate.
And Maryann is sitting there with her thumbs up. In fact, yeah, Maryann doesn't want to be a micromanager, do you?
No, not at all. Let the team do, what they're there to do. I find that people do have skill sets that we don't have. And when you have a team, you hire a team, you're actually looking for those skills. And once you empower them, the best thing to do is let them go. As the owner, I found for myself, it's easy to set the mission, the goal, the purpose, right, of the business. Here's the direction we're going in. I call it the MVP. And then from there, we let the team carry it out. But once they know what that is, they're the ones that are carrying it out and empowering them to do that.
Kathleen, do you find it really hard to get out of their way and just let them do what you hired them to do?
I did. I struggled a lot with that until probably the last 2 or 3 months. It's become more and more simple for me to let them do what they do. And I've started to focus more on networking and community and marketing and, home life. I currently live about 30 miles from my shop, and it's just posing to be too much. So we are now in the process of moving back to the next town north. So it's called Venice. So that's going to be adding or taking away from my Harmony
okay,
a
little bit. Okay.
Just for a little bit. But I know it will come together just like it's supposed to. And I, like Kim, have traveled quite a bit this year. So I guess a big piece of that is not feeling guilty about not being in the building. That's that step. I see you nodding, Maryann.
Yeah.
It's hard for me I feel like when I'm not there that I'm not setting the tone and the example. But they're doing just fine without me, to be honest. Sometimes better.
I know that that it's been talked about on the show before, but we've taken our staff and done Discovering Your Strengths, Marcus Buckingham. And I think making sure that you have the right team with the right skills, the right strengths, the right personality in the right places, then you give your team the foundation in order to succeed so that you can be gone. I have traveled a little bit more this year with my husband than we're used to. And every single time it's become easier and easier and easier. In fact, this last time I was gone, it was 2 weeks, but part of it was business. I don't think I called the shop one time. And I was, the one time I thought about it, I thought, no, this can wait. This can wait. And so I didn't call the shop once. I think Rob was on the phone maybe once or twice. And then the other thing that I used to do that I quit doing was checking the schedule every day, because I used to be able to log on through TeamViewer and look at my computer and see what the schedule looked like. And I gave that up. So the next step is now I get a Clover report, a day-end closing report from from the credit card processing. And that's the only thing I saw because I got that email. But I didn't go looking for it. It found me. But it's finding the right team, the right people in the right places. And it's taken a long time and a lot of terminations, a lot of resignations to get the people. And that's not to say that, it's golden yet, because I think just when you get golden and you think that the team is perfect, there's a shakeup. So that has been nice is finding the strengths of our team. And I love what Maryann was saying is not micromanaging. And I think that way to do that is to get out of the shop on occasion.
Yeah, I have to say that when we first opened up our shop, I was guilty as being the control person. I had to control every aspect of it. And I learned over the years that it really was leading to my own burnout, trying to be everything to everyone, home life, work life, all of that. But as I found, when we are in an earlier stage in our business and we're looking for people to perform different tasks, that was great. When you get to the stage where you're starting to leave your business more, as you both had said, and now you need the type of person that's in your shop, you're looking for leaders. Mm-hmm. You're looking for people that have that leadership mindset and will not only do the role, but they also know what the goal is attached to that role.
We have a little joke around here. It's when it's been a long day, we've only worked a half day. A half day is 12 hours. So Rob and I are no longer committed to working half days. We're committed to working part-time. So it's the time that we choose, the part that we choose, the time that we spend here. But that's not to say that when we're not here, there's still that guilt. There's still that, while we travel a lot and, our employees have only so many hours a year on PTO, and we try to be generous, and I'm feeling like we're not generous enough. So we've been convicted of that, of re-looking at our PTO for that. But there is guilt. There's guilt being away from the shop and having that flexibility. But I've also got employees here that would be the first ones to stand up and say, yeah, but we clock out at the end of the night. I've known that Kim and Rob have had sleepless nights on some occasions. So they're always on the clock. So I think if you it's not fair just to come in and say, I'm taking vacation. They've got to understand that you want the best for them, but they also want the best for you. And that's part of being a working family, is taking care of each other. And so I think that's really important. But the three of us also have another common theme here is, I think we're all mothers. And so we have the balance, and going back to the harmony and balance of running a business, Kathleen by herself, Maryann and myself with our spouses, but also our kids, mine are both mine's now married and one's in college, but they still need us. In fact, my son was calling me just a minute ago. I'm sorry about that, because we're still parents, we're still mothers. Yep. And so it is a balance, a harmony to find.
I agree.
I can't help but think what you were saying, Kim, and Maryann, it almost feels like Kim has gone through stages of her business.
Absolutely. It's like a roller coaster. It's a roller coaster running the business. And I said this recently, it's a roller coaster. It's ups and downs, but it's a lot more fun now to ride the roller coaster than it used to be. But we have to get used to it, though.
How long have you been in business?
We opened business in 2006, and I've been a part of the business full-time for about 7 years now, 2011.
So anyone who's been in business for a few years and wants to be like Kim needs to evolve in different stages of their business. And a point to bring up is we interview an awful lot of very successful people, and I know some early stage shop owners say, why can't I be like that? Well, you just described how many people did you go through to find the dynamics of a team that would work inside of your business culture? Oh, by the way, I have to create a business culture. So I guess maybe we could tear that apart a little bit. Maryann, and I don't know if, we could ever define stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, I don't know how many stages there are, but the point of it is that businesses have an evolution.
Yeah, they do. I think that when most people start out in business, they're the ones, whether it's, the automotive business or most any business. I deal with a lot of people that are in the trades. So I've never seen a lack of grit or determination or hard work in any of these people. They're willing to do the work. But when we start out, we're wearing a lot of hats. We're doing so much, and we're proud of that fact as well. But a lot of times I think what gets missed at that stage is because there's not a lot of sales at that stage. So there's not a lot of big budgets at that stage for marketing and all that type of, so what happens a lot of times is we don't focus on validating, going out and actually talking to people, going out and really talking to our customers, letting people get to know us. And I think that's a huge part, because your core values and the reasons why you're doing what you're doing are a huge part of the start of setting your culture and your brand in that company. And I think sometimes we get so caught up in wanting to be further along that we don't take the time to do that.
I'm talking with Anthony Frohwein, a technical product specialist with Federal Mogul Motor Parts. Anthony, when you're in a shop, are you talking tech as well as product?
Whenever I do a physical training, there is product incorporated part of the whole training overall, but it's to maximize the time, whether it's diagnostics, whether it's inspection, whether it's installation. So that way they understand that, hey, by skipping that extra 20 seconds by putting on this set of brake pads and not replacing the hardware, hey, this might be the reason why that I'm getting comebacks. And usually, being a ex-shop owner, I understand that the first time you get paid, the second time's free.
And so are the techs really starving for this information?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of times you have, we live in an industry where I like to say they cut the roast in half and they don't understand why, but they do it just because they've always been doing that type of an industry. So, to break it through that, they've been doing something for 30 years and they see as they haven't been doing anything wrong, but it starts to open up their eyes to, hey, you know what? It wasn't necessarily wrong, but there is a better way.
So you're really talking to me about an aha moment.
Exactly.
And tell me, when you see that happening more and more from technicians that you're out with, how does it make you feel?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, you really feel like you're giving back to the community overall. But ultimately, the way I tell them, I look at every single vehicle that I worked on prior to, or I had my customer, just like I'd put my family in that vehicle. I look at it as I'm keeping everybody else that much safer because the job's getting done correctly.
Federal Mogul Motor Parts' Garage Gurus is your go-to source for the vehicle training, technology, and answers you need to keep your next job on track. On-site, online, or on demand, the Gurus are here to help keep your business and your career on the road to success. Visit fmgarageguru.com. I do know, Kim, you've employed a business coach. Kathleen, I know you have. Maryann, have you employed a business coach? Are you your own business coach?
Yes, I have used a business coach over the years.
And so has that helped you recognize moving you toward and through different stages of the business and appreciate the responsibilities of the CEO?
It definitely helped me grow. And then from there, I was able to really learn what I need to take off my plate and what my role was as an owner.
I agree 100%. I've owned the business myself for 9 years now. And until I hired a business coach that empowered me and kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone to stop doing all of it myself, I ran the entire front of the house by myself and couldn't figure out why we couldn't grow. Because I was in the way. But until I had that person to teach me that this is the next step, and I'm going to show you how to work on your business instead of in it every day, it definitely that was a life-changing pivotal moment for me. And then, of course, surrounding myself with amazing women like yourselves, and knowing that we can do it, and we're a community to help each other has been phenomenal.
What's working in your businesses right now? If you really, stop, take that 30-minute drive home and say, what's working, what's not?
I would say our culture, first off. I actually got a message from a lady up here in Sarasota that came down, single mom, was kind of getting the runaround from 3 or 4 different shops around the area. Said, it's kind of a hike, but why don't you come down and see us? Let me look at what everybody's told you, and we'll just kind of give you our opinion. And she showed up about 30 minutes after I left today. And I had empowered Jamie, my service advisor, to take care of all of it. She sent me a message on Facebook, a voice message, and it almost brought me to tears. It's like your kids growing up. They really created that wow culture experience that had I been in that door, it would have felt exactly the same. And we go for the feel. There's a lot of highly qualified technicians out there in our areas that are capable of fixing the car, but to have a team that really prides themselves on taking care of the client is definitely something that I think has set us apart and helps us be successful.
I only hesitated when you asked that because I was trying to pick one. There's, it feels really good when I would, and definitely the first one that came to our mind was, to my mind as well, was our culture, our family culture here. The knowing that our customers have our back, that our employees have our back, that they are as loyal to the success of this business as we are as the owners. So I think that is, I think culture for sure. For part of us is a lot of the reasons that we're able to be gone as much away from the shop as much now is because we have the systems and processes set in place that need to be there. That's not to say that they don't break every once in a while or they don't need to be swept up, cleaned up, and reminded. But we have a systems and process, so everything runs the same when we're here or when we're not here, or when Lori, our service advisor, was off yesterday. It was the same system and process with me stepping in as service advisor in her absence yesterday. So I think systems and processes and cultures, I think there's so many great things that this is a fun time. So we got to go back and tweak tweak it to make it even better. And so again, there's so many great things. I can't think of, and maybe I'm just in this, this little, euphoria of joy, but it's not to say it's easy. It's not I don't want to lie to anybody and say it was easy getting here. It's easy staying, in the situation that we're at, because we have to work at it every day.
I want to get to you, Maryann, but this euphoria joy thing is really interesting to me. If you looked at the scale of when you started, those 16 years ago, maybe something like. 12 years ago, euphoria and joy in the early days compared to now.
No. It was regret and doom and what in the world did we do? And 7 years ago when I left my career and came to do this, I'm like, what did I just do? I don't know what I've done. I don't know. We don't know anything. And then, before we knew, we had a building coming in our lap, and we had to figure out how to do that. And it's not been easy getting here, and it's not easy to stay here.
But there can be euphoria.
There can be. But I was in Florida at a meeting, and it was another shop owner, and he shared a story about the day. It was his turning point. And his turning point was the day that his 2 techs quit on him, walked out the door, and he had to decide at that point if he was going to stay in business or not, if he was going to move forward. He went to his daughter's daycare and put his hand on her little head while she's asleep in the crib and said, I have to do it. I have to do it. Patrick McHugh, mustache, awesome mustache. We just had a great visit, and listening to him and his joy and his excitement about this industry, it was contagious. And I thought, I want that joy and I want that excitement about running my business as Patrick has. And I think that that's so important, that we remember that we are in a great industry. We're in a great time in this industry, and we need to be excited about what we're doing and how we're doing it, and how, and if you're not there yet, get there. Be excited about working on getting there. Let
me tag on to that. We just recently did a Town Hall Academy on specialties and niche. Chris Chesney was on, and I said to Chris, I think we're in the golden age of automotive repair. And he made kind of a funny joke about us guys with gray hair. You have to listen to it. It was funny, but he agreed. Kim, to your words, we're in an exciting time in our industry where technology is ramping up to the point where we've got to meet it. We've got to meet it head on. We have to change some business models. In your success levels, I bet you all on this summit here with me on Shop Talk would say, bring it on. We can handle it. And whatever we have to do to yin to yang, to change a business model, to improve our training, improve our equipment, and some of the ideas were to stop working on these vehicles because we don't know them well and they're not profitable, and maybe we should specialize. I think there's an awful lot of decisions that are going to come up, but I think we're in an exciting time.
The minute that a technician or somebody that decides to own a business and signs that lease and decides on a name, at that point, they've already made that decision to be excited about it, to do it. So I remind myself, let's go back to where we were at the beginning. How exciting was this? And scary. And, how overwhelming and all that. But it's good to go back and visit that. Where we were, why did we want to do this? Why did we choose to do this? And have that mindset all over again so you can get that excitement again. Marketing, we have to go back and market like when we just opened the business on occasion to make sure that we're staying out there. Things like that. But really it is an exciting time.
Remember back when you guys were doing marketing, Maryann, and you approached it from a very hungry perspective?
Oh, yeah. Going out and meeting people and talking to everyone. That's something that those conversations are so valuable at every stage of business. I think to Kim's point, and both Kathleen, when they were talking about the different accomplishments and growth in their business, I think sometimes we forget to celebrate the wins. Right? How we grew and we look back. It's easy to look up the mountain and say, wow, this is how far we have to go. But when you take a step back and you look behind you and you go, you know what? We really did all this. We can do it. That's a huge part of growth and being positive and embracing the change that's coming ahead. Because, all changes is a learning curve. We have to go out there and we have to see what works and what doesn't. And I think as far as the team goes, just to tag on a little bit to the culture part of it is, we're in an industry where we talk about being efficient and numbers and all of this. But I think it's so important to see your team as people. Because all of the same issues that we have, many of us have businesses where we're working with family. It could be, maybe a spouse, but not necessarily a spouse. It could be other family members, and working through all of those dynamics are huge. But, we'll have issues that come up and we'll have to leave the shop, not just because we want to, but because we need to. It could be a family issue, caregiving issues for team members. That's huge. Whether someone had a baby or they're thinking now about aging parents and they have to get involved with that. Seeing them as people is a huge part of moving forward with your business and having people that, buy into your dreams because they see that they're included in that.
We talked about the fact that we had business coaches before. Besides the business coach, what is it that you ladies did was there one particular thing that you ladies did that you got to a point you said, I'm going to take this to the next level? And so what was there a turning point on that respect, or was there something that happened that you decided that this business has, that I need to get excited or I need to push forward again after getting tired?
Yeah. For me, it was, in day one, I wanted my business to be sustainable. So we had to grow into that because in the beginning, a lot of times you feel like you're just trying to make an income to be able to, pay all your bills and pay yourself a salary and pay your team when you're first starting out. But I wanted it to be a sustainable business. So when you're thinking that way, that's when I think you start looking to grow and learn, what am I good at? But what else do I need to know? What skills do I need to develop? So that coaching part of it was the accountability. And for me, I ended up getting a coach when I was at the point where I really wanted to scale. And I knew that I was too hands-on as far as I had to do a lot myself. And I needed someone to help me get through that and let go of that control.
And I'll say I have a little bit of a different experience there. I did not come from any form of automotive background. When my former husband and I bought the shop in 2003, I just kind of did the payroll in and out and the accounts payable. I wasn't really part of any of the day-to-day. I couldn't write a work order. I really didn't do any of that. We had employees for all of it. And I just made sure that the bills got paid and the people got paid. And when we split up, I really kind of started to invest myself in that day-to-day grind is kind of what it felt like. I did it so that I had a freedom to still be able to take care of my kids and take them to the doctor and do all of the mom things that I was accustomed to doing. They were accustomed to me doing. And it was convenient. So I ran the business, what more was there to know?
Right.
But I'll tell you, the pivotal moment for me, I did hire a business coach, and a company had approached me. It didn't feel really comfortable, so I did some reaching out to people I had met, and I hired my first business coach, and he gave me the courage to step forward. But in that process, not on purpose, he had me do a women's car care clinic locally. And I made it up from the beginning all the way through. And I started Googling and I found Amy Maryann and happened to send her an email. did not know she was a female shop owner, just sent this random email and said, hey, we're not close. Maybe you could help me a little bit. So we talked, things went forward, and I ended up at my first Women in Auto Care conference in Orlando, however many years ago that was, and sitting at the table with them, seeing Maryann, sitting next to Bogey the entire time. And that was such a gift to see all of these amazingly successful women in this business, to know I was no longer a unicorn, and that if I really reached out for help, that I could make this amazing. I mean, it was good, but I could make it amazing and not have to worry about, are the guys, am I going to get paid this week? Did we make enough? Did we do enough? I never advertised. I never marketed. I never did any of that stuff. And so that first Women in Auto Care conference was the pivotal, life-changing moment for me.
I had a similar experience. For me, I'm a very competitive person. My kids do not like playing games with me. I'm very competitive, and I'm out to win.
Do you own all of the hotels in Monopoly?
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. But I am extremely competitive. And so going to that first, I went to a WorldPac training expo in Auernheimer, and we had every credit card was maxed out. We were flat broke, but we were somehow able to fly out to California, visit family, and then go on down to Anaheim. And sitting in that room, it was just kind of light bulb went on. It's like I left commercial real estate and came into automotive business, which is really on my side of the wall. What I do is retail, and I knew nothing about a retail business. But I got competitive, and I had that desire that I wanted to have. Rob and I wanted him to come along with me, but we wanted to have one of the best shops in the United States. And I am a high I personality with a lot of D, so I like to be, a lot of my strengths is being recognized and such. So once I figured out what I wanted and what we needed to be. So for me, it was a competitive edge to be. And Patrick McHugh is the one that reminded me of that. And he said, even if you're not the best shop in the United States, if you're not the best, you are the best. It's what, you have to put that into your mind that you're going to be, we talked to another shop there that, if you have a crap hole of a shop, you have the best crap hole shop ever. And, and that's, so you take what you have and you make it the best. And it was just a good reminder of, I'm still not, we're not the best shop in the United States. There's many, many shops that are better than us. But in my world, we're the best shop, and we're still striving towards that. And so many things come along with that. Do
your people know that vision and that dream?
Oh, absolutely, because they live it.
And they share it with you?
They share it, absolutely. And if they didn't share it, they wouldn't be working here.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. We were talking about culture a little bit ago. You don't flip a switch and have a good culture, do you? Mm-mm. And I think that's the message. You're all shaking your heads to me. The culture takes years to get it right, people to go through to make it happen. If I was sitting down and think I'm a young shop owner, I'm in business, it doesn't matter, from 0 to 5 years, and I haven't really embraced culture, your recommendations is to do it now. And do you need training? Do you need to read about it? I mean, can you give us a few secrets of how each of you started to build and implement your culture?
For me, it started with our core values, what we wanted to be, what we wanted our shop to be. So for us, we knew that we were a very customer-centric. We were going to be a customer-centric business, and that no one in the area was going to care more about their customers than we were. So that was part of our brand. So we positioned ourselves as a resource to customers in the community. And when you're thinking that way, because when you think about your beliefs, you act, the way you act is according to your beliefs. So that's how it all started. And then the second part of that was when Tony and I felt that we were a real resource to the community and we felt really blessed to have our team. Another part of that was, to really share what's working and help develop the team, have them in a position where they have advancement opportunities. So, and there's a lot of good people in the industry. So getting involved with associations, for me, a big one was ATRA, because we are a transmission shop. So that was huge. And I learned so much from that organization. They're definitely near and dear to me. And then the third part of that was really showing the next generation, supporting and encouraging them. And a big part of Women in Auto Care had to do with that for me, because I really love the idea that the fact that they were concerned and supporting the development and personal development and professional development of all of the members or, attendees, but also the fact that they were encouraging the next generation, with the scholarships. And we do things, within our local area, but that kind of three-legged approach was really, really important to me. And I think when you embrace that and your team knows that it goes beyond just your shop, I think that you end up with the type of people that are a good fit, just like Kim had said.
I think it definitely starts with you.
Mm-hmm.
It has to start with just one person in the organization, whether if you're, co-owners with your spouse or immediate family member, it just has to start with one. And it becomes contagious. We did have a crap hole of a little shop, and it's funny because if I pan down right now, I'm wearing white pants. And the reason that's a joke is because I can go home without grease on my white pants. But my point to that is I came from corporate America. So I came to the little crap hole dressed for success every day. I still wore my black slacks. I still wear business clothing because I come to work to succeed. I come to work too, just like everybody else, but I come with a mindset that I'm going to be the best, that we're going to be the best. And I come dressed for success, and I come with a mindset. So if you start with one person with that goal, that vision, it becomes contagious. And if it's not, if they don't feel like catching that bug, they won't stay around. Mm-hmm. And then, and eventually, like I said, it's taken a number of years and a number of employees to get everybody, sick along with us. It's awesome.
I agree 100% with everything you guys have said. It does. It starts with one, Kim, like you said. When I was doing the front office myself, my biggest passion was the people. And I can remember technicians that are long gone. One in particular that moved on and opened his own place eventually and has a completely different culture there, mm-hmm. would always give me a hard time about it being a henhouse in the office. And I tried to explain to him, why are people waiting? Why are you're up there having conversations. We're back here working. And I said, I'm up there building relationships with these people. We're in a predominantly retired area. The median age in Englewood is 64. And so sometimes and now my frontline folks are the only human contact these people have in that given day. So to just get them in and out and treat them like they're going through a process is not our culture. I have a newer service advisor, and so he's going through the training, and in his heart he has that culture, but he's worked in a very fast-paced environment where you just the next one and the next one, and we had a conversation yesterday where I said, you just need to slow down. The people behind, the next person in line will wait. It's, I don't know if anybody's gone to Disney World, but when you stand in a line of 45 people at Disney World to wait for your child or yourself to get a photograph or spend time with a character, that character, when it's your turn, spends quality moments with you and your family. They take that extra second. It's not just smile, snap, go, smile, snap, go. There is a personal interaction that occurs there. Obviously, it's on a shorter time frame, but it makes it feel that much more special. I think adding that value of the relationship to the service that we offer makes a huge difference and stands us as a culture of the whole shop to do that. Because if I'm going to care for my clients that way, I'm going to care for my employees that way and my vendors that way. And it's a flow. It's a harmony. Like Carm said, that feels like the theme.
Why is it so tough for some owners to make the leap and really build the right culture?
I think some owners don't have the right culture inside of them. And I think it's got to come from within. It's got to come in from deep, or it's just a facade. It's whitewashed walls. I think a lot of owners, because of lack of training or lack of association with other shop owners and getting out there, they are, as Kathleen said earlier, they think they're their own little unicorn. Nobody else is in a situation like them. They don't get out and get involved in training or organizations and such. So they're too busy trying to figure out their own misery rather than asking for help. And so that's part of it. I think the culture has to come from within. Some shop owners don't know how, or don't know. They just don't know. I mean, I guess just is it. They don't know. They don't know there's anything different. They could be in business for 30 years and they think that this is just what it is and they're stuck.
They don't know. You said different. Maybe can I add the word? They don't know that there's something better out there.
Better. Absolutely.
I agree 100%. That's, being the only shop I've ever worked in, that was a part of the huge eye-opening when I went to the Women in Auto Care conference in Orlando, was to see that there's so many more opportunities out there, that it didn't just have to be this. I didn't have to stay within that little box. I could make that box whatever I wanted to. I could make this a culture of where we take care of the client first, and not just the client's car, but we take care of the client first. And that was maybe something that nobody else in the area is doing, but that could be my culture. And it's taken a lot of folks, employees in and out. Like you said, there's turnover. There's a lot of stuff. The gentleman in particular that I was talking about that just couldn't understand the henhouse culture, as he called it, was, he has his own shop, but it's very cold and clinical, and he still works on cars. He fixes things. I think a lot of business, especially in our industry, it's a lot of techs turned owners, and they speak car really, really well, but haven't had the opportunity to learn how to speak human very, very well. I've had technicians that I absolutely would never put in front of a client, because you never know what's going to come out of their mouth, because they can't speak human, or they get so technical that they just, everybody glazes over around them. Not that they're not good at their job. They're just not good at communicating that passion through words. So I think that some instances, the culture can be created if you have the right front of office staff to convey the message.
Obligatory question. My listeners are out there saying, "Now, Carm, ask the tough question now." And my question is, so how can we really get this done? I mean, really, share with the audience, each of you, how I take that big leap. I believe I can do it. I'm a shop owner, male or female, doesn't matter. I'm convinced. What do I have to do? I mean, I got a million things going through my head. I almost figure out, but tell me, what's the first thing, the first step I could get on my pathway to create the right culture?
Well, I think the first thing that you have to do is you have to become self-aware. You have to take a really good, hard look at yourself.
Now, earlier you said core values. Okay, let's assume that that's going to be part of the exercise, that we're going to sit down with our team about it. But I loved what you just said. Self-aware, that whole emotional intelligence thing, self-confidence.
Well, it's hard to get self-confidence, right? When you don't feel confident at all the different areas of your business, just like Kathleen was alluding to right now. So I think going in and really assessing what are my skills and what am I good at and what are the skills that maybe aren't, my forte, but I realize they're important to the business, because sometimes we can get stuck in a mindset of, is it more important to be right or is it more important to grow? So if you're going to operate your business from a kind of a defense mindset, well, I'm going to defend why I'm doing things this way, that's one way to do it. But you can also do it from the total opposite way, okay, where you're saying, okay, I'm curious. Why is it that, I'm struggling with communicating with people? Maybe that isn't my skill set. Maybe I need to start looking for someone who is better at that. And I'm going to focus on the things that I'm good at. So I really I think before you can go in and critique a team or anything, I think you're the leader. You're the person in charge. You have to be self-aware and you have to look, assess your own skill sets first.
My thought I love that, Maryann. That was perfect. Yeah. And I think my first thought was get help. So many of us are, as Kathleen had said earlier, working in their business, and I picture a train going through a long dark tunnel. And the tunnel, or there's a commercial from back in the 70s or 80s in the restroom, the bathroom, and the bathroom just gets longer and longer. The toilet gets further and further away for whatever reason. But it just seems like that tunnel, that light at the end of the tunnel can be really frustrating for people because they never get there. And so if you get help, get somebody in to help evaluate your business operations. Maybe your business is more successful than you even know because you're too busy working in it to really know financially or numbers wise how successful your business really is. And then that person can help you focus on the things that need to be corrected first. And then, it's the old adage, how do you get an elephant one bite at a time? And so get somebody to help you figure out what bite to take first and then next and next. So I think if you're looking for that culture, don't let it overwhelm you. Get help to get to the light.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Kim, is reach out for some help. Find another business owner or, shop owner obviously would be ideal because it's apples to apples, but any business owner that you can look up to and that you believe does it right, because right doesn't look the same to all of us, that they do it right, and reach out to them and ask them to mentor you and teach you how to get what they have, because, in order to keep it, you got to give it away. So, but the other piece for me that I think that is super important is communicating with your staff, the staff that you currently have. Communicate, meaning both ways. They need to understand your vision, your passion, where you want to go. But you also should understand their vision, passion, and where they want to go so that together you can motivate each other for whatever success looks like for each of you. And I think that creating that team helps build the culture. And, obviously external help is always a good idea.
A million other topics we could cover, ladies. You've done so well. Would you come back?
Of course.
It's my ladies.
You don't have to ask us that to us.
I know. Gee, will you come talk to us for an hour?
Just wait till you get us all three together in the same room.
Yes.
Right. Well, let us be sure we do that sometime, and let us be sure I bring my equipment so that we can lock it down for posterity. Thank you so much to Kim Auernheimer, Cool Springs Automotive, CS Automotive, Brentwood, Tennessee, her and husband Rob. Maryann Croce, Croce's transmission specialist, Norwalk, Connecticut, and smallbizvantage.com. You and Tony, right?
Yes, Tony and I both run the shop.
Yeah, and Kathleen Jarosik, Xpertech Auto Repair, Englewood, Florida. And in the show notes, links to their previous episodes. Thanks, ladies, for being on Shop Talk.
Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you so much.
You did a great service. Thank you.
It was a pleasure, ladies.
Yes, so nice.
Hey, thank you, Kim Auernheimer, Maryann Croce, and Kathleen Jarosik. Your valuable contributions to the industry is an inspiration to all shop owners who want to find that work-life balance and the harmony that goes with it. Find the key talking points, additional bio information, and website links at remarkableresults.biz/E357. And don't forget about the excellent content under the theme of business coaches. You can find the series listed on the show notes sidebar on the website. Spend some time and see the mountain of content that will inspire you to find the next level in your life and career. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'm at email, carm@remarkableresults.biz. Hey, we'll talk soon.
Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from the premier automotive aftermarket podcast. Until next time.